Hello guys, we are back with another video today. After yesterday's download announcement, this morning we had the 2000 trees announcement, so we're here to talk about that. We are one man down. We don't know where Izzy is. She might turn up halfway through this call, but for now I'm joined by Al with your first podcast episode thingy of the rebrand,
Indeed, very excited.
and
Thanks
by
for having me.
Sam, who is in the void.
Yes, I'm already on my third one now, aren't I? Or something. No, it's not only second since the rebrand. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
I hope nobody noticed the things in the background of last night's video.
Yeah, let's get that straight, right? Everybody else started saying, "Oh yeah, I just need to move a few things out of the background," and I thought, you know what? I can't really see my full POV at this time. My friends, I can trust them. They'll tell me if there's shit in the background.
Yep.
No, no. So I'm in the process of moving, and I have got shit in the background. So I apologise. It will be better
Well,
in the
it can't be
future.
worse than mine.
But
I've
just to let
got
you know, I don't
stuff all over the floor.
always live like a complete slob. Just occasionally.
Just most
Normally
times.
when I'm at a festival.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just most of the time.
Well, speaking of festivals, one of our favourites is 2000 Trees. And there's a lot to say about this lineup because I think for the first time in a while, we have very different opinions on a lineup for a festival. Um, who wants to start us off?
But now I can tell you're dying.
I'll
Go for it.
seething there. Look,
Yeah.
absolutely seething, ready to
No,
go.
I'm not seething per se. It's more like I think the things that are coming from both sides are valid. It's like I feel like there's a divide at the moment between Trees fans where it's kind of like some people are like, "Oh my god, this is best lineup ever," and some people are like, I haven't really seen much of people falling in the middle yet, and I think both opinions are valid in a way. Like for me, I kind of agree more with the side of it's a bit, mainly because for me personally, the headliners or like the main ones aren't really tickling my fancy that much. But I think like the reasons why trees have done what they've done, I think, are valid. Like, blah 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 blah.
I mean,
I have written notes.
it's a very different kind of vibe to last year's festival
Mm,
where we had like so the thing that like no, it didn't annoy me, and I don't want people to think that I hate the lineup because I don't, but it's like they it was marketed as like this is our biggest lineup ever, and
mm.
then when you give us like the chats and Hot Mulligan, when last year there was Bullet for My Valentine, Skin Dread, and Frank Carter, like I'm not. It's not a bad line.
The-
It's not a bad line. Like I mean, I'm not a fan of the chats or whatever. But if people
Yeah.
are that's
mm.
fine. But the chats, like Enter Shikari have headlined this festival, Twin Atlantic have headlined this festival, You Me at Six have headlined this festival. Like if they're gonna say this is our biggest lineup ever, I was expecting like not like Biffy Clyro, but like a like a progression for past like Bullet for My
Mm.
Valentine level. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I understand what people are saying. I think it's, for me at least, it's subjective because it's kind of like Bullet for My Valentine and the chats are completely different
Yeah.
genres.
Mm.
So it's kind of, if you think about the chats within their own sort of little niche genre, they're huge,
Mm.
they're massive. So I don't know whether people have taken the term big kind of maybe too literally in a how many
I'll be
monthly
honest.
listens they have, or
I, I don't think it's got anything. I don't think they're basing that lineup, that biggest headliner or biggest lineup ever, off of the chats. I think they'll be basing that purely off the Gaslight Anthem because they've just been around for so long. They are quite a big band. Admittedly, they're not exactly massive these days, but they definitely have a massive demographic that are into them and have been into them for a very long time.
Mm.
Like one of our own, Shane.
Yeah.
Shane
Irish
is a
Shane.
massive fan of him, and he's Irish Shane. We have to clarify that now. Um, not Shane from our previous 2000 Trees video. Um, he is a massive fan of him, so he's absolutely delighted with this lineup. And believe it or not, I am probably one of the few people that is middling in this because I think it's a decent lineup. I don't think it's a bad lineup. I don't think it's a great lineup by any means. It
Mm.
definitely has some better ones, but also as we've talked about in the past, Trees. I mean, the lineup helps, and having bands that you want to go see, and there are bands there that I want to go see
Mm.
that I'm pretty excited to go see. But Trees is kind of it's a different vibe. You don't
Yeah.
as much as you go there for the music. It's not necessarily the headliners. Like the headliners last year, nothing. I mean, Frank Carter obviously, and
Mm.
Bullet for My Valentine were very good. But I think you've had like people in the past like Idols and
Mm.
stuff like that.
Well, in the
But
first year I went, when I came with you in
yeah,
2022, I think there was one band I wanted to see that entire weekend, and that was Bob Vylan.
yeah,
And
Mm.
the festival was still good enough that it sold me on coming back the next year,
yeah.
and then this last year sold me on coming hopefully every year from now on, because it's, as you say, it's the vibe, isn't it, that you go for really.
Yeah, and I mean,
I
there's
think.
probably going to be like, sorry, I will let you finish, but there probably will be at least five, six, seven bands that you'll go see because you're like, do you know what? I've got some time. It's in the forest stage. It's literally 20 feet that way. I'll
Yeah,
go check them out, and you come back with a new favorite band. So there probably will be people on this lineup that we haven't got a clue about yet, and we are about to discover.
Mm.
So
yeah,
that's kind of part of the fun of Trees, anyway.
yeah, because it's such a small festival. You can literally like
Yeah,
stop and watch a band as you're getting food, and like you can
yeah,
just swap between the Axiom and the Cave, and just be like, oh, that's, I don't know who that is, but they sound all right, and then someone says, oh, that's such and such, and whatever. Yeah, like it's such
yeah,
a small festival. It's so easy to just go and wander around and discover new things.
yeah, exactly. So, shall we talk about bands we actually are excited to see?
Yeah. I mean, like the headliners don't do anything for me. The Gaslight Anthem, okay, they're a massive band, or like
Yeah,
relatively massive. And the Chats, up until today, I'd never heard a song by them. But like
yeah, okay.
it's similar to what we were saying last night about the download lineup. Is that I think the undercard is better than the actual headliners,
Yeah, definitely.
like Boston Manor, Creeper. But there's a band on there that I only discovered today. I put the playlist on shuffle called Better Lovers. Um, and they're actually really good. They sound a bit like System of a Down almost. It's like System of a
Okay.
Down, bit of Biffy in there as well. It's quite a nice mix. But I only discovered them today just by throwing the playlist on.
Yeah,
Mm.
fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
check them
I
out.
think for me, definitely, it again is more the undercard. You've got your Trees favourites in Creeper. Um, you know, I think the Chats have played before. I think so. I think although I'm not personally a fan, I think that's quite nice. That's something that Trees do.
Mm,
Um, you've got Nova Twins, Spanish Love Songs, and the quote unquote smaller artists
mm,
selection I think is really awesome. You've got Cody Frost, As December Falls, Cassiette, Archeo, Static Dress,
yeah.
Crawlers, and I mean Cassiette and Static Dress are kind of coming off the back of supporting Bring Me on their arena tour.
Mm.
Can't believe you
And
just
yeah,
skipped over Kids in Glass Houses.
huh?
I can't believe you just skipped over Kids in Glass Houses. Like they made their triumphant return at Slam Dunk last year,
If Jamie
and
was here, he'd have something to say about that.
he would have something to say about that, and so do I, quite frankly. So
Sorry,
yeah,
Sam. Go on. Go
I'm
off, Sam.
very
Go on.
excited. Yeah, no, I'm very excited to see them. I didn't get to catch them on their tour, so I only got to see them do a small set. Actually, it was a pretty long set, wasn't it? I think they did a full album at Slam Dunk. It felt like a long set, so I'll be excited
Mm,
to see them in a Trees environment where they will be absolutely brilliantly well received because
yeah.
Yeah,
they are very much the Trees vibe.
Mm,
So
it kind of circles back to like what you guys were saying about going and discovering new things, or even just sitting in camp and being able to overhear whoever's playing on the forest stage.
yeah.
Like, if you camp with a lot of people or you go with a lot of people, you can sort of tag along to different things. Like, I know you said, Gib, about how we're kind of, for the first time, more divided than we usually would be about a lineup. And I think that that's actually an advantage and could be a really good thing
Mm,
because, you know, we can discover more stuff.
yeah. I mean, depending on the weather, if it's anything like the heat in 2022 when me and you were just like, Izzy and Sam were like, oh, we're going to see. I can't remember who it was you were going to see. Sam, when you were, and me and Al were just like,
Not loose.
it's too hot to move. I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That
not
was
loose.
Not
Yeah,
Loose.
Yeah.
And they
And
were in fancy
that was-
dress as well, the
Yeah.
maniacs.
And
That was-
ironically
that
now,
was genuine,
Ironically
yeah,
now,
trial by combat.
if it was Knock Loose now, like I know more of them now that I'd go with you and see them. Do you know what I mean? But at the time, I was just like,
Yeah,
I only know a few songs. It's like 28 degrees. I'm just gonna follow the shade as it moves around the gazebo.
That's
honestly,
why
the
I'm so
meme of
excited to go
seeing
for Twins.
the meme of seeing Spider-Man and Tigger crowd surfing kind of was the only thing that kept me alive in those not loose pits. It was great. But yeah, I mean, another band as well, Cleopatra. I know not many people maybe know them in the UK, but I think they're a big Canadian band. I saw them support Frank Carter at Ali Pali many moons ago, I think back in 2019. And I had a very disappointing show because I went to go see them at Electric Ballroom, and it's a bit of a weird shaped kind of venue. And I don't think they'd mix the sound properly because all I could hear was bass, and it was that was one of the few gigs that I've actually left without seeing the whole show. It was just I couldn't. And maybe if you were closer, it looked like the people that were a lot closer to the front were having a much better time. And maybe it was a lot better, but yeah, the way that it sort of echoed out towards the back of the room, it was just you weren't getting anything. All I could hear was snares and bass, and that was about it. So I'm excited to hopefully see them in a much better environment. I mean, bands have those. I remember when we went to go see While She Sleeps at All Points East, the sound was just awful. But Sleeps are an awesome band. See them every other time since. The sound's been perfect. So
Yeah.
sometimes sometimes on the day it just doesn't hit. So
Yeah, that's true. The sound on that stage in general sucked, to be fair, at all points.
yeah, I think sometimes if they're weird rooms, you've never been there before. I don't know if they always know how to mix it correctly. So, but yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to see them anyway.
I'm just going through some of the smaller names on the bottom of the poster because I'll admit I kind of like skimmed over a lot. Thrill Collins, who normally does the silent disco, doesn't he? Or they? He? Is it? It's more than one, isn't it?
I don't know.
On
I'll be honest, I have no idea what's going on those stages. Or like, if there's multiple people talking, you think I'm in a state to recognise that there's multiple people talking.
I mean, we just
at
stand
that
in
point
we just stand in the
evening.
middle anyway, don't we? And
Yeah,
cause chaos.
my bad.
And I'm already in bed, so
Yeah.
Normally,
Yeah. But like most of those smaller bands down there, as always with Trees, I've never heard of, but I feel like this is like one of those perfect festivals where so many people get a bit of a leg up. You know, like performing at this festival, especially if you're in the forest, because like so many people want to just go and vibe in the forest. And as you said before, you can literally hear it from the campsite. So a lot of people will just be like, "Oh, who's this?" And then check the app or the lineup or something and go, that sounds really cool. I'll go and listen to them, or we'll put them on the Spotify playlist or something."
yeah.
Yeah, like I even said to my housemate before we jumped on this call that there's a band right down the bottom of the list called Knives, and how I have to go and see it because our cat is called Knives. Like,
And the band next to it's called Fangs Out. Have we lost Al?
Also a very apt likening.
And Single Mothers. That has no relevance to the point. Sorry, I was trying to make a stupid joke. There's also Knife Bride. There's also Knife Bride. So there's a lot
I can't remember if I've seen them before.
Yeah, they sound familiar.
Yeah, you've got
Definitely sound familiar.
You've got Knife Bride shooting daggers. You have to go and
It's
see
a very,
the Blade themed
Well, the
bands.
knife, very sharp.
I'm gonna have to look at where I know the name Sleeping Mothers from, because
Single Mothers, not Sleeping Mothers.
Oh, Single Mothers, Sleeping Mothers.
But there's a lot of something I've noticed. I mean, trees are very good for this anyway. And we mentioned this on the download video yesterday about representation. Like you got Lambrini Girls, as December Falls, Nova Twins, Creeper, um, like Crawlers. There's a lot of
That's yeah.
female artists being pushed further up the lineup. Which
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more representation for females, femmes, and non-binary people this year for sure. Which is, I think, reflective of the kind of the community in general at the moment, which is nice. And Trees have always very much embraced that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, there aren't, as we were saying before, there's not many names that like jump out to me, but you've got things like Cassiette and as December Falls, who could like, I'd be interested to see where they fall in the lineup, because it's hard to tell from the way this is laid out. Where like would Cassiette headline a stage, or where do you think?
Well, she was on in 2022 on the new stage.
Yeah, I think she headlined then, didn't she?
No, I don't think she headlined. I think that was the year Vukovi headlined the new. I think it was that same day. Maybe
Was that when Vukovi played after Bob Vylan, after the stage broke? Yeah.
Yeah. It was that. It was that
Okay.
Trees, and she played new stage. I feel like maybe at like 2 or 3. So I guess it's possible. It's very possible, especially off the back of the tour, and she's got the album coming out. So and a tour of her own. So yeah, that would be interesting.
And speaking of Cassiette as well, another artist there, we mentioned it again on the download video yesterday, Cala Louise, who's playing both. And Cala Louise supported Cassiette on her tour last year, at the beginning of last year. Again, like really good, kind of like synthy electro. Sounds a bit like Cassiette, but maybe a bit more influence of like Bring Me the Horizon and Bad Omens, more towards that kind of side of it.
Yeah.
But again, like it surprised me that Cassiette was on so early. Only 2 years ago, or what will be 2 years ago, and now she's like she could easily like headline one of the smaller stages now.
Yeah.
And Static Dress as well. Leeds boys.
What?
Yeah, it'd be
what are your
interesting to see where some
guys'-
of these names sort of drop in terms of their positioning and what stages they're going to be on. Because obviously we know which ones might be on the main stage, but like, will Boston Manor, will they headline potentially one of the stages, or will they be like on the main stage? I'm not sure, because I think, who did they were on before You Me at 6 in 2022? Boston Manor?
Yeah, they were on main stage, weren't they?
Yeah, they were on the main stage this time. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see where some of these acts fall. Like Nova Twins are obviously a lot higher. I think they were on at like a 3 o'clock on the Sunday, the last time they were there in 2022. So they've obviously had pretty meteoric rise of their own going on tour with Bring Me. So it'd be interesting to see where they sort of fall on the lineup as well.
Yeah,
They're obviously a lot higher up this time. So yeah.
And now like Nova Twins, Elton John said they're his favorite new band as well. Like the rise they've had over the last 3 or 4 years is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But I think it says something about, like, to go back to my point earlier, that we're not sat here going like, oh my god, it's the Chats, oh my god, it's the Gaslight Anthem, oh my god, it's Manchester Orchestra. We're talking about like, right, who else is there? Who's further down and stuff, which is a good thing. Is a good thing in a way, but I think that's something it's missing, like the name. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, I know there's another headliner to go and there's more to be announced, but to me, last year, like, had Skindred was like the name, or like Bullet for My Valentine was the name. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Then you had, like the previous year, you had Turnstile, Not Loose, and stuff like that. Like big
Jimmy
name.
Eat World.
Jimmy Eat World, yeah.
Who do you think is going to be the third headliner?
Middling opinions. I mean, obviously, I'd love it to be Shikari, but I'm not seeing many other.
Well, they're at Download, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's not said UK exclusive,
No, no, it's
so
not.
you never know. It would be nice to see them at Trees, but yeah, did they do? Well, I mean, they did.
2018.
Yeah, was it 2018 they did it?
Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to think if they did it the same year they did Download. So it was that 2019.
2019, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think
Okay,
like
a year off.
a lot of people, on the Facebook group and stuff were expecting Don Broco. I think that was like the.
I mean,
Weren't
they
people
definitely
expecting
could
Don
do it.
Broco last year as well?
I mean, I think they're always
Yeah.
expecting Don Broco. I think they're one of those names that people keep throwing around. But
It'll probably be Def Havana. They love getting Def Havana on. I think they've been
could
there
it
quite a
be?
lot, so it wouldn't surprise
Could it
me.
be Frank Turner?
If it was Frank Turner, that'd be
I mean,
incredible. Like,
it could be because of the new album.
Mm.
yeah,
You know, there's a lot
but
of artists on this lineup that are either getting back to get like doing reunions, or they've got new music out, or have recently had new music. So it would make sense. You know, Frank Turner is a bit of a Tree staple, like so.
It does feel like I mean, I think even though I've never listened to them, the Chats do feel like a Trees staple band. I think like maybe like going back to not back to the roots, but like it feels like very much like a Trees lineup for Trees fans.
That's yeah. That was my thinking behind it as well. Is that like at the end of the day, you could you'd call them a medium-sized punk festival, and
I think they consider themselves a small festival because I think they're only sort of 10, 15,000 cap.
Well, they won the award for Best Medium Festival.
Medium festival was it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my bad. I'm called there. That's fine.
So yeah, and I guess it's kind of new punk. I don't know, like I just feel like it's encapsulating what sort of that genre means in the modern day. Like there's been a huge shift in alternative music and alternative culture in general in the last few years, and the way that music is done, and this sort of new wave emo and all that stuff that's come out. So like yeah, I don't know, it feels right to me.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they are sort of trying to maintain that medium festival kind of vibe. You know what I mean? If they
Which I
started
think
putting
is
these
right.
massive acts on there, then they'd get a lot more attention, a lot more people trying to come. So
If you want big bands, go to Download. If you want
yeah,
smaller up and coming artists, a more chill vibe, etc., go to Trees.
Yeah.
yeah. I hear what you say. It would still be good to see a headliner, but yeah, carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when you've got bands like, I mean, we spoke about them, about Slam Dunk, but like You Me at Six, okay, they're everywhere, and it's kind of a oversaturation at this point, or at least to me they are. But like, there's still like You Me at Six is still like a name, Def Havana is still like a name and stuff. I've just when I kind of threw my hands up there, I just had an idea. What about Ice Nine Kills as the third headliner? To kind of go for like, if people still want that heavier kind of vibe.
I feel like it had come through more in the undercard than it would in the headliners. Like, I mean, I suppose you could argue that Bullet for My Valentine was like the odd one out of Frank Carter and Soft Play last year. So you could there is a case for it, I guess, but I don't know, it just doesn't. I don't know.
It doesn't fit the vibe.
I really don't know.
Or the aesthetic of the festival.
But it could do. Do you know what I mean? Like it could go that way. But I feel like they wouldn't go too far that way. I feel like, a band like Shikari or Broco would kind of be more of a middle ground.
Yeah. Trying to think of bands that are like at that similar level, because there was a joke, wasn't there, the other last year about like it feels like the Download pilot, because like a lot of the lineup was similar, and obviously we didn't go to that. But like that kind of Bullet for My Valentine, Shikari, Frank Turner, Frank Turner and Frank Carter were both there. Skindred were there. So it I'm not saying like 2000 Trees is the Download pilot, but
Yeah,
it's kind of at that same level.
it has a more similar vibe, I think.
Mm.
Not that I have experience of actually being at the Download pilot, but from what I know about it, it's a similar size. You know, and I don't know, I guess it's hard because the Download pilot, and the reason I'm still so gutted that we never got to go, was because that was like my dream lineup. And so far, all of the years that I've been to Trees, the lineup has been sick, and I've loved it. And I kind of, I feel like maybe that's influenced it a bit, where it's kind of like I'm used to them blowing me out of the water, and maybe that's why this feels a bit underwhelming. Kind of in the same way I was often really into the Slam Dunk lineup, but this year it's just not doing it for me.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, what you said about You Me at Six, or a similar band to that, is that yes, it might draw some people in because it's a name, but it'll also push people like us away because we were not all that impressed when they headlined for technically the second year in a row. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like there would be some people that are like, okay, yeah, I know we've had one festival since then, but is that long enough to then have them headline again? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of playing that game of,
you don't want to just repeat the same bands and no, I get that. It's just
because then people would moan about that, because people
Yeah.
moan about that with Download, and then
Yeah.
Download have changed it up, and people are moaning about the fact they've changed it up. So it's kind of like
people just love to moan.
you can't please everyone.
They
You know,
do, yeah.
I mean, we're British, of course, it's a thing, but
Please don't remind me of that fact.
But yeah,
I live in delusion. I'd like to keep it that way.
but yeah, you're right. You can't please everyone. But
yeah,
I feel like it's not. I don't feel like there's a big like uproar. I feel like there was more controversy around the first Download announcement than this announcement. But then the second Download announcement has got a lot of people back on board with the likes of like Busted, and I mean, we spoke about this on the other video. Go and watch that other video to hear what we said about that. But like, I think Trees have got it very, not middle of the road, but like consistently. We know who we're trying to aim to. We've already sold most of the tickets. It's like, and like, I'll just throw Jamie's 2 cents into the ring just because of the voice note that he sent us before. But he made the point that like, and which I disagree with him on, is that they've got everyone's money, therefore they don't need to try. Now, I disagree with that, but I kind of understand his reasoning for it, where it's like, yeah, they've sold all the tickets, so technically, really, like, they could just get away with not doing much. Do you know what I mean? But I still feel like they're trying to curate a festival for their core audience. And obviously, I've only been going to Trees for 2 years now. You guys have been much more than me, so you know more about the festival and its community and its vibe. Do you know what I mean?
I think that would go against their core beliefs, to be completely honest with you. Like, that, it would genuinely shock me if it ever came out that was the case. I would be utterly flabbergasted, honestly.
Yeah.
They don't strike me as those kind of people.
No, I mean, at the same time, like, we as a friends group kind of exist in a bit of an echo chamber as well. So we don't. Like, we're just a very, very small portion of the Trees community. There is a much wider one that we don't engage with as regularly. So this, although it might not be ticking all the boxes for us, I mean, there's a few bands that I'm still very happy about. It probably will be, like, for a lot of people that have been going for however many years it's been running. This will be one of their dream lineups. They're really happy for it. So I think
I know a lot of people that have said similar, where they're super, super gassed, not just about one band, but about the whole lineup in general. So.
I mean, realistically, we're still going to go whatever the lineup anyway. They probably sold those tickets before the lineup even came out. So that I definitely disagree with Jamie's point there, but I can kind of understand where that kind of comes from.
Yeah, if we didn't know like the Trees organizers and who they were as people and what they're like, I can see his point. If it's like that situation in different hands could easily be true, but because the team behind Trees, you can really tell that they care so much about that festival and the way it's run, and the enjoyment of people who've, you know, paid all that money to go. You can really tell that they'd never try anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very good at listening as well. I found Trees. You know, there was a lot of things that they did in 2023 that people gave them feedback on after 2022, and they did something about it, you know. So I have every faith that even if, you know, people aren't too pleased this year, or it's not the best year that Trees have ever had, then people will be willing to give their feedback and they'll be willing to receive it, you know. So
Do you know what? The one thing that I hope they did listen to is I hope they saw the bit in the video that myself and Gibby were talking about. Was I hope there's no longer a fucking percussion band
Oh
in
my
the
god!
forest.
Oh my god!
Who the hell
Oh,
thought that was a great idea?
lock them
I
up.
have no idea.
Like,
apparently it was supposed to have a guard on it, or like security
yeah,
around
it
that
did.
area at
It
night
did,
I
time.
and the
mean,
It's a
guard joined
forest
in.
security
school.
and trees don't really go together, do they?
The guy that was supposed to be looking after it joined in.
Yeah, he wasn't looking. I think he was actually just trying to figure out where it was. I think he was just wearing a high vis jacket for the fun of it, to be honest. But
Oh well,
there you go. That's the thing. You never know.
it was 4 a.m.
So yeah, I
I was
hope that's
tired and
not there.
drunk. You know,
Yeah,
who
exactly.
forgiven?
Everybody wanted to
And we
sleep.
were cold as well. That was
Yeah.
the first night. It was rough. It was a rough first night all round, I
But
think.
like, I understand
Last
it in the
year.
daytime because it's there for the kids, isn't it? To like learn how to
Yeah.
play an instrument
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
Yeah.
forest school.
Fair enough. You don't anticipate crackheads at 4 a.m, but now you've
No,
seen
but
it.
like
Now you've heard it.
midnight, like have somewhere that they can be locked away.
Yeah.
Don't just leave a drum kit in the forest overnight where people are clearly gonna.
Oh, I think it's like made out of. I could be very wrong here.
Yeah, it was part
I'm
of the
sure
like
it's.
into the trees and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
it's like
not
there's
like
a fire
it
pit.
could be
You
packed
can
away.
fence it off. Yeah, you can fence it off. They did that with the fire pit.
Sorry, fences. Really, a fence is really
They
going to
fence
stop people.
they fence off the fire pit, and that stopped people. If you put enough fences in the way, most people aren't. They can barely like walk forward in a straight line. They're not going to be able to navigate getting over a fence. I think it'll be all right.
yeah.
Yeah, valid.
But yeah, regardless of the lineup, like things like that is what make Trees is the campsite vibes and the
Well, the
and the people
Friday
in the
last
community.
year, we barely left the camp. We
Mm.
made a conscious choice to not go and see music because we were just having a fun time vibing.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, you can really
I
get away
think
with
I
like,
don't know if that was the case. On the Friday, me and Gibby was so hungover we physically couldn't go anywhere.
yeah, yeah. I didn't have a
for
drink
the
till like
rest of
7.
us, anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was after the trip to the medical tent.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
always one, and it's always you.
Valuable lesson. Don't get drunk when it's like 27 degrees. No, to be
You
fair,
say that as we.
I looked after myself that day. I was drinking water, I was drinking juice, and it still got to me. So
Yeah.
you know, just be careful.
This
But
is a PSA.
Stay safe out there, kids.
Drink water.
yeah,
Yeah.
PSA. Yeah, but like as I say, like we're going anyway. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we've got the biggest camp we've ever had.
We do.
I think is there like 20 of us this year or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Sam, did you like recoil in horror then at that amount of people?
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
people. You know this. New people, fuck's sake.
Well, there's more there
I'm
this year
sure
than there was that last year, and last year
Oh,
was quite a lot.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's new people. I think it's just a lot of people that either couldn't come last year
Returning.
or missed out on
Yeah.
tickets last year are going to be joining us.
Yeah.
Or people that are camping with us for the first time, like Georgie and Shane.
Yeah.
You can hear the cat in the background there, Al.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shouting.
Look, it's past 8 o'clock. I warned you
Yeah.
that her dinner time is 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Cool.
So who are we most excited to see there then?
For me, probably Kids in Glass Houses, Boston Manor, Cleopatra. Yeah, Nova Twins, Cassiette.
I was gonna say pick one, Sam. That you've just listed like half the lineup there.
All right. Kids in Glass Houses are probably the one I'm most looking forward to. So I'm happy with the second wave announcement.
What about you, Al?
I don't know. Like, it's definitely very difficult for me to pick one like I've seen a lot of I've seen most of the artists I want to see before. So I guess by process of elimination, but also because they're pretty cool, is Hot Milk, because
Yeah.
I haven't seen them before and I really like
Yeah.
them, especially their newer stuff. So
Mm.
because I didn't get to go to Download last year and I heard they were good, so I'm
Yeah.
excited.
A band that I'm probably most excited for is one that we haven't even spoken about yet because I forgot they were on there. The 900, who are the Tony Hawk cover band. They play
Oh,
all the songs
yes.
from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games.
That's going to be sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
That'd
So
be a bit of fun. That.
it is all covers, but it's one of those like that is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they're on the Forest as well. I think they're playing twice, if I'm not mistaken.
That'd be sick.
Mm. Any other predictions or anything? Or anyone else that we've missed? Because I say there's some logos there that I'm just. It's like it's quite small to read on a phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One artist that one band that I'd like to see that have played Trees before is Yonica. Like since the last time Yonica played Trees, they've grown a lot. I think as a band, they've really sort of branched out and found more of their sound and released some really, really good music.
Yeah.
Like
Just very unfortunate that they happened to go on tour with Palais Royale. So you can bleep
yeah,
that out, Jimmy.
It's staying in. Staying in. Have we spoke about Cody Frost?
I mentioned Cody earlier as part of the like quote unquote smaller
Yeah.
artists that
I mean,
I think was really good to see
I'd be
because they were awesome last year in the Forest.
yeah. I'm hoping that they get a bigger set, a bigger slot this year because okay, the Forest is great, but there's only so like crazy you can go in that little
Yeah.
area at the front.
Yeah,
I
And it
think.
was so wet last year that
it
you
was
basically couldn't.
absolutely
Oh yeah,
caning it
that was when it.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was nice to see Rao come out with it though.
Yeah,
He was
But
nice and dry, but yeah,
yeah,
everyone else.
yeah, they were fine
Wet and miserable.
under the roof.
So
Yeah,
yeah, it added. It definitely we needed that energy. So I'm glad that happened.
yeah.
But yeah, whether or not he comes as a punter or a performer, we'll have to
Mm.
find out.
He's always there. I mean, there is still one
Yeah,
headliner to go, as you say.
yeah.
Doesn't say exclusive.
No,
Yeah.
doesn't. It's a possibility, but I've
Mm.
not seen many 30th century management. Normally, you tend to see a few 30th century management bands on the bill
Yeah,
when they're
like
going to be
Lake
playing.
Malice or.
But yeah, something like that.
Mm.
So
I am excited for Cody to be there though. Like we were saying earlier about how a lot of the bands that play at Trees are often sort of in the early stages of their career and they often sort of go on to do really great things very quickly after they play Trees.
Mm.
And Cody has supported Skin Dread, Meet Me at the Altar
Shikari.
since Shikari. Well, but those two just since
Oh right,
Trees.
yeah, yeah,
Obviously they have the song with Shikari. So yeah, it'd be nice to see her on a bigger stage.
yeah. Considering like in
Sure, yeah.
lockdown they were doing covers of Shikari in a bedroom,
Yeah,
and that's what 3 years ago, and to see an artist already have that kind of pull, is really nice to see, and
yeah.
who knows what's in
And they're a
store.
really awesome person as well. They're very lovely.
Mm.
I mean, they were also on The Voice.
What?
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
that there was a big break sort of between when they won The Voice and sort of the new era of Cody Frost that's come out in the last few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so cool that she got to do that song with Shikari because, as you say, Sam, she was on The Voice and Shikari was cited as one of their biggest sort of influences in music. So it would just be really nice to see some big things coming up for them.
Mm. Well, either way, the lineup, the festival itself will be a great time, and we're gonna have a lot of fun, regardless of who we go and see. So, Who are you most looking forward to seeing? And who do you think is going to be the third and final headliner? Let us know in the comments down below. That's pretty much all we've got to say on it for now. We're just repeating ourselves at this point. Like
Us repeating ourselves.
Yeah. Like and subscribe, and if you want to click all the socials in the description down below, feel free to come and follow us on Instagram, and we're now also on TikTok as well. When I can be bothered to start uploading some videos, because Sam's got me into TikTok somehow.
If you see Gibby at any of the festivals, please come up and say, "Oh my God, are you Gibby the TikToker?" Please.
Please do not come up to me and say, "Are you Gibby the TikToker?"
Please do. It'll be
Although
hilarious.
if you do see us at a festival, please come and say hello. We do appreciate it very much. Thank you. That's all from us for tonight.
Apart from Al, she might bite you, but everyone else is nice.
Yes. That's all from us for tonight. We'll be back sometime soon. We've got a couple of videos in the works, and then the big vlog that's coming for the Shikari tour next month, which we're all very excited for.
Yeah. This was my happy wiggle.
Okay.
We're wiggling, yeah. We're moving.
That's right. That's about time to call it. That's the energy level that we're at. So that's a good time to call it.
Yeah, we've gone non-verbal. Let's call it. Yeah.
Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Hi everyone. Hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. If you want to see something similar to this, then you can click on the link here. If you want to see something very different to this, then you can click on the link here. And if you haven't subscribed already and you want to, you can click on the link here. If you want to come and follow us on social media, you can click on the links in the description down below. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next one.